Everybody who's here right now, welcome to episode 4 of Fuel Cap. This week's guest is Cassim Rigaud, and why don't you say hello?
Hey guys, how are you?
Nice. So, Cassim, I had never actually met Cassim, but the last show I did with DZ, you commented and were like, hey man, let me come on the show. So I was like, sure, why not? So why don't you talk about how you and DZ know each other?
Basically, like I told you prior, me and DZ, I knew of him through his sister, but he didn't know of me. So, long story short, me and his sister eventually got together.
Okay.
And tied the knot, not fully, but we started dating and everything. So, ironically, the first time I come by her house is when I met DZ fully, and he had the IS still. Me and him, we bonded well. So since then, we've been pretty cool.
Cool, nice. Yeah, it's kind of funny how you end up making like car friends. Some of mine were just through people I didn't even know were into cars. So it's just kind of funny how that happens. But you had mentioned that you are a tow truck driver. So
Yes.
How are you? So are you an independent tow truck driver, or you work for?
I work for this company out in South Bound Brook called Tripoli's Towing Service and Recovery.
Okay.
So through them, we're affiliated with AAA.
Okay.
So I'm nonstop running around all around Middlesex County, Somerset County, and just working my tail off all day, honestly.
Cool. So, with coronavirus, how is all that going right now? Is it busy, or less people are on the road now?
You'd be surprised, actually. You'd actually be surprised.
Really?
There's weeks where, I'll probably get 3 calls a day.
Okay.
And the other day, I remember I banged out like maybe 9, 10 a day. Like that's
Wow.
that day. And I was like, it just sometimes with people, it depends on the weather. If it's raining, nobody wants to do anything, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wants to stay home. But a day like this, everybody's out. So calls just
today was beautiful.
nonstop. Oh, yeah, 100% it was beautiful today.
It's funny, though, because when, quarantine happened and it was all just essential workers on the road, it's funny because, all the memes online were, notice that all you non-essentials are the bad drivers, the ones that cause the traffic and all the accidents and stuff.
As a tow truck driver, that kind of hit home because I was like, man, that's actually true. I get police calls, and since this whole lockdown has happened, I've probably honestly done 1 police call within the last, how long have we been locked down for 2-3 months already? I've done 1 police call.
Wow.
So it's actually it seems pretty true, honestly, from my end.
Police calls, how many did you get before all this started?
We'd get about 5 or so a day.
Wow.
So it was pretty common.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a big yard, and that yard would be full of cars. And right now it's probably 2-3 cars that no one wants to come back and come get. So,
Wow.
Yep.
So it's funny because I noticed that the essential workers, or the people who were on the road, there were less accidents. But then the first accident I saw was an 8-car. I don't want to say a pile up, but they all rear-ended each other, and it was just 8 cars, and then nobody else was on the road. It was me.
Yeah, you wonder how that happens, honestly.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, when you get into a situation where there's almost a collision, do you it's really you don't know what to do sometimes. Then it just happens.
It sucks too. Yeah, when I'm on the road, because obviously as a tow truck driver, you get certain areas are yours when it comes to police calls.
Yeah.
So you obviously work with the police department. So let's say I'm dropping off a car in Trenton, right? And I see an accident there. I can't do anything.
Yeah.
Because that's not my area. I just got to sit there and watch. And sometimes it's bad, and I'm just I wish I could help, but
yeah,
I can't really do much.
So now you have your own area. Is that per driver or per a company?
Truth be told, I guess how my boss has it, he tries to have us at least the max we could go before we have to let him know that we're going far is like 15 miles. Because
Okay.
let's say we get a police call and we're doing a AAA call and we're 15 miles. We're over 15. I can't do anything because we have to be there within about, and we get a 15-20 minute time limit to get to the scene. So we
Okay.
got to get there fast. But so if I'm far, I can't do anything about it. So
What's the purpose of that time limit? Is that just to delay the amount of time the road is closed for, or just because?
basically, because we gotta sometimes we gotta clean up spills, we gotta sweep, and we gotta do that quick. Because let's
Yeah.
say if it's like two a intersection where cars are coming side to side with each other, there's one lane each side,
Hmm.
and sometimes I have to block both lanes, so I gotta do that quick. I gotta get in and out,
Yeah.
and because the police want to open the road as fast as possible.
Right.
So if I'm delayed, then they have no choice but to call another company, and then we lose that call.
Hmm. Yeah, it's funny. I have a lot of. I'm sure you want to talk about your cars,
No,
but
it's fine, man. It's fine.
yeah, I have so many like towing questions just because it's something that like I've always just found interesting for whatever. Like that show. I don't know the actual name of it. I just call it Heavy Wreckers.
Yeah,
But I love watching that show. Just like they have like the trucks that could lift up like a whole semi truck. It's wild.
yeah.
I love that stuff.
Those people, they get paid a lot of money, but with them, they don't get paid. I get paid hourly.
Hmm.
They get paid per call because they make so much money. It makes no sense to have them hourly because at that
Yeah.
point, you're just draining out the company.
Yeah. No. Um, but what goes into like learning? Because I'm sure there's a learning curve. You can't just send someone out and then pick up a car. Like you got to know the proper places that you could pull it onto the bed from, and like how to sweep up things the right way. So
Yeah.
what goes into that?
So how I got started was I have a few buddies of mine. They tow.
Hmm.
So I used to go on with them. At first, truth be told, I didn't care much about it
Yeah.
because I was like, oh, whatever. And then my one buddy, I actually ended up working with the same company as him at one point. I got very interested in it because at the time I wasn't working. So I was like, you know what? Let me just learn something new for myself.
Yeah.
So I got interested. What he would do was he would let me drive his truck with
Okay.
a car on it and with a car off of it. After I got comfortable with that, he would teach me how to load a car up the proper tow points so you don't damage anything. If the car is too low, put wood under the tires.
Hmm.
So I grabbed onto that very, very quickly. So when he eventually left that company, I said, you know what, let me grab your position. I'm sorry, I love you, but I got to do it. So I did that. Then from there on, I learned more and more working at a company and advance my knowledge on the whole towing industry and how to, if I'm stuck somewhere or if you're stuck, I got to drag your car a certain way.
Yeah.
And that's really it to it, honestly.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's like a lot of situations that you got to stand there and like scratch your head for a little bit. Because one time I was with a buddy of mine. I won't name drop him, but we were getting excited about the rain and the wet conditions, and then the possibility of having less grip.
We're not going to say
And
what happened.
let's just say the tires were bald and the road was wetter than we
Oh, man.
anticipated, and we ended up in a ditch.
Oh,
And
my
so
gosh.
I kind of have two questions
Yeah.
regarding this. So the first one, we were in the ditch and we were calling our buddy to just pull us out, so that way we didn't have to like call the police or whatever and then
Yeah.
get a tow truck. But someone had driven past, and then we saw them pull over like way far down the road, and then I want to say like 10 minutes after that our buddy was on his way, but then a tow truck and a police car showed up like 10 minutes after that guy drove past us. So I'm assuming that he called,
Yeah.
and then I was just kind of confused that the tow truck showed up the same time that the police car did. Um, if you guys get like a report from somebody, like does it go through the police first and then to you, or does it go to you and the cops simultaneously?
Typically, they get it first.
Okay.
I've never had an instance like that happen to me where, if someone has called the police and it was like a domino effect like that.
Yeah.
I've had it where obviously what happens is the police get the call first. They're first responders. We're technically considered first responders too, but they're obviously ahead of us.
Right.
So if it's an accident, they'll find there's like a whole list of like what towing companies, what days they're on. I don't know much about that, but there's the list of what tow companies are on that day, that time, whatever. So, ironically, there was one time I got a police call. My boss texted me all the information because he gets it after the police do.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it, and then I have to be there, like I say, in that 15, 20-minute mark.
Yeah.
And there's times I pop up before police do.
Wow.
Really? The people get surprised. They're like, yo, the police aren't here yet. And I'll have the car loaded and everything before the police get there. And they're like, why am I even coming? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know why you're in the game.
Okay, so that might have been what happened in that case, it was just the timing of it. But then my second question was like, so we were like in the ditch, and it was a while ago, so I don't really remember. But what I did remember was that I had no idea how the driver was gonna get underneath our car to like hook anything up to pull us, but somehow he did. I don't exactly remember how, but like, what do you do in an instance where the car is too low or it's in a ditch, like our case was?
Ironically, I've had on Route 18 by like Rutgers, kind of. Mm-hmm. This girl, it was raining that day too, ironically. So she was coming up a bend, and somehow she told me she like lost steering. Like, I guess she hydroplaned or whatever she did.
Yeah.
So she literally ended up on it was like a ditch, then it turned into a hill. So she was at that meet where the ditch was and where it started coming to a hill.
Okay.
So I looked at it like, damn. What's funny is she made it worse for herself because she tried getting herself out. So I was like, all right, cool. So if it's too low and it's raining, you just got to suck it up and just do what you got to do. We have two different style chains.
Okay.
They're called, we have a mini J, a little tiny baby. It's literally like, it looks like a J. Mm-hmm. Or we have big J's where they're literally a big chain and it's still a J.
Okay. Yeah, so, I've seen those. Yeah,
sometimes we got to use the big boys. Mm-hmm. Because they hold up more, they're stronger, and they'll get you out 9 times out of 10 at a time.
Yeah.
So usually like that, we'll use the big J's to get you guys out because it's so much easier like that. And sometimes there's times where I'll have the front of the tires meet the bed, and then I'll drive with the bed down, your front tires on the bed, and I'll drive just so you're straightened out, so you're pulled out. All I gotta do is just pull you up the rest of the way.
Oh wow,
that's really good.
That's crazy. So, what would the worst tow you've ever done be? Like, whether that be the car was in such bad condition, or it was just the most difficult to like actually get onto the bed.
I've had a PT Cruiser. I believe it was either silver or blue.
Okay.
It sucked because 2 reasons. One, it was on the side of Route 1.
Ooh.
2, yes. And 2, his tie rod snapped. So his wheel was going one way.
And
his wheel was going the other way.
Yeah.
And at the time, this is when I just started too. That's why it sucked so bad, because I was all alone. I'm like, man, I don't know how to do this. So I was like, you know what? The car's already damaged. There's nothing else wrong I could mess up. Mm-hmm. I tried as best as possible to, get it without, breaking anything more. But It sucked because the car's going this way when you want to go straight, and it was horrible. I spent probably like 30, 40 minutes doing it. Mm-hmm. Good thing the cops were there, so they helped me out too.
That's good.
But getting it on was easy. Getting it on was hard. Getting off was easy. So
okay. And that was like one of your first times on your own, you said?
Yeah, that was when I first started on my own.
Wow. That's kind of intimidating, isn't it? After like being with somebody and then...
it is. You can't show it though. You really can't show it though.
Oh, no, I'm sure.
You can't. It's because everyone starts panicking. People go, sure you know what you're doing?" I'm like, "I'm a tow truck driver. I better know what I'm doing."
Yeah.
So,
I mean, has there ever been a situation where you or maybe someone else that you know of had to like call somebody else just because they like didn't know what to do?
um, not really. A lot of people, because a lot of my friends, they know I tow because I post it up on my Snapchat sometimes, whatever.
Yeah.
So they usually come to me first, but at the same time, like I said, I got an area. So if you're not in my area, I can't really help you out as much as I would like to.
Okay.
I can't go out of my way. There's times if they're willing to pay, obviously my boss has to make money. I gotta make money.
Yeah.
Then I'll contact my boss and say, hey, so and so buddy of mine is stuck here or there, and can I do something about that? And if they say yeah, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And usually my boss now is actually really lenient, so he'll probably he'll go by my price.
Yeah.
He won't go by his price. It's like, how much do you think I'll charge him? I'll like 100, 150, depending how far it's going and whatever. Mm-hmm. So I try to do as much as I can for people.
Yeah. And how long have you been towing for?
About a year now.
Okay. That's so I guess, I mean, how long did it take for you to get comfortable with it? Because a year's a pretty long time, I guess.
Actually, a lot of companies prefer people 3 and up. There's very few companies that'll take you with a year. There's actually more companies that'll take you with no experience than with experience with a year, surprisingly.
Really?
Yeah, it makes no sense. It's
no.
Just but it didn't take me that long to get comfortable, honestly. It probably took me the first few days to actually, me being alone at least, it took me like the first few days to like, all right, it's not that bad. I got this.
Yeah. So before I asked you, what was the worst tow you ever did? What was your best tow? I mean, is there ever a best tow? Like,
yeah.
Can that be considered?
All right, so it was one of those side by sides. So it was a private tow. So my boss was like, "Hey, go pick this up." I'm like, "What am I picking up?" He was like, "A side by side. Some guy just bought it off his boss, whatever. He needs you to tow it." And I had to tow it all the way back to Jackson, I believe. Nothing wrong with it. He just couldn't obviously legally drive it on the street.
Yeah.
So it was awesome because the guy literally came after I got there, like 5-10 minutes after I got there. He's ripping in the parking lot. He's like, "Yo," he invited me in. I was like, I might die today. But I was like, whatever, let's do it. Oh, man, it was amazing. He's literally ripping it throughout the parking lot, throwing it sideways, doing everything crazy.
That's awesome.
And then, it was awesome. And then once I got to Jackson to drop it off, he was like, "You want to go for another ride?" I was like, "I really do." So we went in the woods this time. We're ripping it and everything, having a lot of fun. And he sent me like $60, and I was like, "Yo, if you need me to do anything else, I'll do it. I don't care."
That's dope. I'm sure it's rare to find people that chill.
Oh, it truly is. It truly is.
Yeah, well, that's awesome that like you guys got along and you didn't like scare him off or anything. No. The way you were pulling his car up and everything, because
he had a great vibe.
That's good. Yeah, there's definitely people that are like you were saying earlier. They're just like, "Oh, do you know what you're doing?" Like, and they want you to do things a certain way.
Because they're already stressed as it is,
Yeah, no, that's understandable. For me, so I've only ever had one of my cars personally towed once, and it wasn't even like an emergency tow. So what happened was I had a 2003 Ford Explorer, and I drove home one night. Everything was completely fine. I had actually checked the oil that morning, and the oil level was fine. The next morning, I get up for class at like 10 o'clock, and it rained that morning, so the ground... Actually, no, it was still raining. So it was like pouring rain, the ground was soaking wet, and I turned the key, and it's just like grinding noises, like...
Oh.
And then it just stopped. Just a very sudden stop. And I was like, oh, I think I know what happened. So I went inside, and like I was like, I know what happened. I don't want to confirm that I know what happened, but eventually I was like, well, I have to go outside and like,
you gotta check.
So I don't even go outside and try to turn it over again. There's just oil everywhere under my car. So on my driveway, there's a grass section that I park on.
Yeah.
So in the grass, mixed with like mud and water from the rain, was just all this oil, and it was like the worst scene like ever. So I was like, all right, well, I need to get to school. So I got to school, and then I was debating what to do because the car itself was like in great condition. It was in my family since 2003. My grandparents bought it brand new.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then so they had bought it in North Carolina, and it made its way up to here in Jersey, where my mom drove it for 10 years or so. And then I had the car for a little bit over a year at that point. And so I was like, well, what do I want to do? I didn't really have much of a budget for another car. And I found an engine and trans. And the reason I say and trans is because I wanted to just swap that out as preventative maintenance because those are known to go bad.
I can't hear you no more. What happened?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Say something again?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Where was the last part you heard me?
You didn't have like much of a budget for another car.
Okay, right. So what I ended up doing, I found an engine and transmission, and I did the transmission as like preventative maintenance.
Yeah.
So I found that for relatively cheap, like $2,300, and then
That's not that bad.
yeah, and then I used my only tow I've ever had, knock on wood. I just used that to tow it up to my girlfriend's house because her dad's a mechanic, so we swapped the engine and trans together. But that, to this day, I'm saying this too much. I'm going to jinx myself, but that is the only tow that I've had to do so far.
What was the question? Sorry.
Oh, no, that wasn't a question. I was just saying that's the only tow that I've
Okay,
done so far. Right. But then to finish the story of the Explorer is it's been almost 2 years since that happened.
Yeah.
And just in January, the engine blew again.
Oh
also,
my god.
Almost in the same fashion. It was fine the day before, and then the next morning, it like turned over. It was like knocking, and then it just stopped. So then, like, I checked everything to make sure the engine was actually blown, because like I couldn't believe it. Like 2 engines, but it wasn't blown. So now I have my RX-8 and my Mazda 3.
Yeah, I saw the RX-8. I actually wanted to buy one.
Oh, yeah.
I'll honestly be real with you. I only wanted to buy one just because of the suicide doors. That's the only reason why I wanted to buy it.
So before I really knew about RX-8s, I always just loved the way they looked. But before I knew about them, I had no idea that there were suicide doors. And then I was like, I want something rear-wheel drive, and I want something different. So like rotary, that's the first thing that popped in my head. I knew I wasn't getting an RX-7. There's no way.
They're very expensive.
And they're so expensive. And I was looking at RX-8s, and one of the things that like sealed the deal for that was the suicide doors.
That's what I'm saying. So it seals the deal all the time, because it's like, what other car besides a Rolls Royce has suicide doors besides a pickup truck at that too?
Trucks.
Yeah, so it's like that's it just differentiated it besides the rotary from like everything else, So
yeah, but it's funny because I bought the car and I was like, all right, it's a rotary, it'll blow up eventually. After the rotary blows up, I'm gonna put an LS in it. But after driving it, it's been 6 months, I guess. I love having a rotary. So if anything does happen, I think I want to find a 13B REW from an RX-7 and just put that in with the turbo.
I've towed a couple RX-7s, but not the FDs though. Every generation before that.
Okay.
And I told this one guy, he said his RX-7 was running like 6 seconds down the quarter mile. I'm like,
yeah, they're crazy.
Bro, what are you doing?
So
It's
much power.
crazy. so much power,
Yeah.
and they rev for like everything.
Yeah,
So
no.
it's like,
No, it's funny because when I got the car, I took my friends for a drive, and just I'm going like first, second, and second is where I love to just let it go all the way up. Just second
yeah,
has so much like torque behind it.
it goes to like 9 grand, right? Something like that.
9.5. Well, so
Oh wow.
nine is where like the red line starts, but then there's like a beeper in it. So when you hit the red line, it goes off, and it goes off like 9.5 really. But it's funny. I was like gunning it, and then all my friends are like, "Are you gonna shift?" I'm like, "Just wait." Like that's really how it is.
Oh man, yeah, that's the one thing I love about rotaries. They just rev to everything.
Yeah.
They rev so high. Even my Hondas do that same thing. They
Mm-hmm.
rev, but they don't rev as high as a rotary. But you could make them obviously, but
Yeah.
stock it's not revving higher than a rotary.
No. Yeah. Um, but no, just rotary is just like they're so weird because like I have a two rotor 1.3 liter engine. Like it's the tiniest engine, but it makes 230 horsepower, and it out of like the smallest engine. It's just crazy to me. So like after having it, like obviously like they're not reliable, so it's not like I'm gonna stick all my cars like rotaries in all my cars, but
Yeah,
I'd like to.
it's not. Man, they're different, man. If they're built right, they could cause some damage. Honestly, if they're
Oh,
built right.
for sure. But why don't you talk about your Genesis?
Oh man, that car's a ticking time bomb.
Oh yeah.
um, Not really. My transits though, but really, all I got done to it is 2012. It's the
Okay.
2.0 turbo.
Okay.
So far, what I have done to it is MXP turbo manifold. I still have the stock O2 housing, but I have the aftermarket one just sitting in my room, just collecting dust as we speak.
Yeah.
I have the ISR downpipe all the way back to a single exit.
Hmm.
The most recent thing I did was the Spec D taillights. I fell in love with them as soon as I saw them on other people's cars.
Hmm. Those
Uh,
look dope. I love them.
oh my God, they're sequential. Love them. They honestly, when you watch the car and they just look so clean and beautiful, you just like I just fell in love with them all the time. Honestly.
I'm on your Instagram right now. I'm showing the viewers your feed. Do you have a video of the sequentials like in action or just the
On
taillights?
my phone, I do. Ironically, when I first installed them, I went to DZ's house and I was like, you know what? Let me wash my car. I just installed the part. Let me wash my car, make it look nice. And DZ actually took a video of them like doing their whole little sequential thing, and honestly, it's amazing.
That's
It's
cool.
very amazing.
Sequentials, they're expensive though, right?
Honestly, those I got really lucky.
Mm.
So I was looking around. I already knew a few websites that sold them,
Yeah.
but they were selling for like 400, something like that.
Ooh, that's not bad at all.
So it's not, but honestly, I didn't want to pay it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I found another website. I believe it's called Auto Anything or something like that,
Okay.
and they had them, but they didn't have them for the warranty the other websites had. So I was like, all right, maybe that's why. So I bought mine for 200 less than what they were originally for at other websites.
Yeah.
So they're the same ones. Came in the Spec D box. It was just I
Wow.
just paid way less than a lot of people other people did.
That's dope. Yeah, for the RX-8, not many people made taillights, and there's like there's my generation RX-8, the Gen 1, and then there's the Gen 2 where they change the taillights. So there's a lot of like knockoff Gen 2 style taillights that you could buy for your Gen 1. And then other than that, the only other ones are like individually made, like custom, like $1,000.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, it's I mean, unless someone listening and watching like knows of something, that's all I could find. And
Yeah.
it's just like there's some guy in Florida, I think, and like he does them, but it's so much money because then like you have to pay for the way he does it is you actually buy taillights and send them to him and he'll take them apart and then do everything in the housing and then reseal it and send them back. But it's just so much of a hassle. So like
that does seem like a hassle, honestly.
Yeah.
And you're waiting at that point, and it's just like
Mhm.
that's too much. That's too much, honestly.
Yeah, I'd rather do some engine mods or something.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I stopped honestly doing cosmetic work on the car.
Mm.
I still got a long way to go cosmetically, but I just want the power. I'm the type of person that I don't care about looks as much.
Yeah.
You know, I bought the wheels and coils on my car just because it was something I've pushed aside because I've owned the car 4 years now.
Yeah.
It's something I've been pushing off for so long, and I was just like, you know what? It's time to get the coils, it's time to get the wheels, you know, and I just did it. I just went for it, honestly.
Yeah.
And then after that, I got the taillights, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a break.
Mhm.
And I went back to buying performance parts. You know, I still got parts stacked up that I haven't put on yet. I don't know why. I just haven't found the motivation, and
I
slowly
feel that.
getting it back. But I just bought another car. I actually just traded for another car before we got on live.
Okay.
I was like, oh man,
really?
I had a '99 Honda Civic.
Okay, you
And
had
then-
mentioned that to me, I think.
Yeah, and then I just traded it for a '92. So I was because before the '99, I had a '92
Mhm.
that I wanted to build, and I had to get rid of it. And I was pretty upset about it. Once I bought the '99, I got upset about it because I was like, man, I really wish I finished the '92 because it's something that I wanted to do.
No, I know.
So-
not finishing a car is just and getting rid of it is like it almost
Yeah,
feels like
that's
a
what
feat.
that's what really hit me is like I got rid of it and I wish I didn't. And ironically, I was at my buddy's house before I went to go see DZ and his sister,
Mhm.
and I was just scrolling on Facebook Marketplace like what are the odds like someone has something that I want.
Yeah.
So I saw the same color, same year. I was like, let me shoot for it. So gratefully, the guy's in town. So I hit him up. I was like, hey man, I got a '99. Are you willing to trade for it? He was like, yeah, I'll come by and check it out before I say anything.
Yeah.
And he came by, said, you know what? Why not? So we traded. Literally, I was like, oh man, I got 10 minutes. So that we got that done. So
Nice.
I'm really thankful for that, honestly.
Cool. So the first time we spoke, you mentioned to me you have a secret build. Was that the Civic? Or is there another
the
secret?
'99?
Okay.
It was in '99. Oh, what I got going on now? Because a bunch of people know at this point. Well, some people do at least.
Okay.
I have a engine from a '97 Acura Integra,
Mm.
not the Type R, not the GSR. Sadly, it's out of the Integra LS.
Okay.
It's a B18 B1 for anybody that knows or doesn't.
I had an LS.
Yeah, so you could obviously swap the VTEC head on it out of the GSR Type R. Truth be told, it's not the route I want to go for it.
Mm.
So right now, I basically took the head off, stripped the head apart, found out a valve dropped. So that sucked. Yeah, so I was like, maybe that's why I bought it for $250.
There you go.
Yeah, so I bought a lot of parts for the head. All I need is cam gears. I plan on making out of that little thing possibly 550 is the most I want to go.
That'd be sweet.
Oh man, it would be awesome. And DZ, if you're watching, I'm coming after you after it's done.
Oh, it's a challenge right there. It's official.
After I drove his Type R today, I was like, this thing's pretty quick. I got to come after him now.
All right, you guys heard it here first. Fuel Cat Podcast.
Exactly. You heard it here first, and it's gonna happen. Just give me like 2 more months.
There you go. No, a buddy of mine is building an Integra, and it's weird because he has a non-VTEC engine.
Yeah.
And so he ordered non-VTEC valves. And he went to go put them in and realized that he has a VTEC head.
Oh no.
So yeah, and it's I forget what he did. There the engine ran when he got it. So somehow there's a VTEC head on it, but it's a non-VTEC motor. Like, I'm confused about that, but
I mean, you could do that. You could put a non-VTEC head on a non-VTEC. No, I'm sorry, a VTEC head on a VTEC non-VTEC block. Okay. It's as long as it's in the same. How Honda says it, it's like the motor family. So, well, I don't know if a lot of people know this or not, but the new Accords, they have the same, I believe, block as the Type R. Actually, I think the whole thing's the same. Actually, I think the whole motor is the same.
Really?
Yeah. But I think the only difference is the internals. I think the Type R has forged pistons.
That sounds like a very Honda thing to do.
It is.
Like with the Type R Integra, it was seam welded, and all the rest weren't.
Yeah, it's Honda obviously knows what they're doing, but how they do is just like, it's just so weird. It's very, very weird.
Well, like the thing is, like with Hondas, like everybody says, if you buy like an old Honda, you could go to the junkyard, get any Honda from that generation, and the part will probably fit. And like that's true. That's just because that's how Honda like builds their cars.
Yeah, so I have a Honda EG. That generation runs from 92 to 95. Mm. So anything, I don't know if it's just this Integra, but from, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, like 94 to 01 is when they did the DC generation. Mm-hmm. So anything from that generation, Integra, could fit 100% on the EGs, the 92 to 95s. Okay. And it's amazing. So like how the Acura has the rear discs, mm-hmm. I could easily, pull out the trailing arms and put them on my car, easy fit, no problem.
Yeah.
And don't have to mod anything, don't have to do anything. Even the motor I have, it's a direct fit. Don't have to mod anything, don't have to cut anything, don't have to get different mounts, axles. It's literally just
nice.
direct fit. It's amazing.
That's the thing. That's the biggest hurdle that I would have to get to eventually with the RX-8 if I want to do. So really, really what I want to do is a 20B 3-rotor. Realistically, no. And, I've realized that. That's why I tell everybody I want to do the Turbo 13B.
You cut out again.
Oh, did I? I was saying I really want to do the 20B 3-rotor, but I've kind of realized
I can't hear you.
Oh, still? Oh man.
Yeah, it happened again.
I wonder why.
It slowly goes out. I was like, no, I'm losing him.
Well, fortunately for the listeners, the audio is recording directly to my thing, so. But for you, that makes the conversation awkward. No, so I want to get the 20B. Realistically, that won't happen. Just the 20Bs are so rare and so expensive. That's like the price of like probably 2 RX-8s.
Oh, goodness.
Maybe not. That's an exaggeration. I could probably find one that needs some work for like cheaper, but still. Yeah. So I want to do the 13B RAW out of the FD RX-7, but as far as I know, well, it has a turbo, and it's laid out differently. Like, it's only a 4-port engine versus a 6-port, like in my car. So it doesn't really match up exactly, so there's some fabrication involved. And that's really, like, the biggest hurdle for me is the fabrication part. Because it's, like, kind of intimidating almost. Because I've never really done a swap that shouldn't be done from factory. So it's kind of just, like, I don't know if I really want to do that, but I do really want to do it.
Yeah, for me, with this, this is probably, I've pulled a motor out a car before.
Yeah.
But I've never swapped. Mm-hmm. So, especially a motor that's, like you said, it's not supposed to be in it, you know? So, this is pretty easy, truth be told. Like I said, it's just a direct fit.
Yeah.
Now, with the Genesis, what I want to do before I blow it is I want to hit 400, 500 to the wheels and just have fun with it at that point.
Yeah.
When it goes, I either want to swap a 1J or a 2J into it.
There you go.
So the thing is, I'm leaning closer to the 1J because it's a lot cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, I look at all these guys in their 1J or 2J swap Genesis coupe, and I'm just like, why does it look like it's a direct fit? It looks like you don't have to fab anything. You don't have to do anything. Like, I know you do, but it just looks like it belongs. Like
That's the
you don't have
craftsmanship.
to move anything. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then it messes with me. I'm just like, oh, I want to do it so bad, and I know I could, but right now is just not the time.
Yeah. I actually, one of my coworkers used to work at eShift Performance, and he did like swaps like that. Like his like thing, like he could do a 2J swap on like anything. Like that's what he did. So if I ever wanted to do a 2J in the RX-8, I know exactly who to go to. And if you want to do the 2J, I could probably get you guys in touch. If
You know what's funny? My buddy Sean, his cousin works at eShift.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so I kind of got in touch with them a little bit.
Okay.
He actually got his he had an Integra. He actually got it tuned by eShift, and he had an eBay set up,
Mm-hmm.
and it ran very, very reliable. His tune was the most reliable thing done to his car.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything was fine. Ironically, I dropped off a car at not eShift but DTR at the shop across from them.
Oh, okay.
So I dropped off a car there. I spoke to those guys at DTR, Ralphie, and everybody. And I spoke to I didn't get the chance to speak to anybody at eShift, but I think they were tuning a car when I was there, and I was like, oh man, just a few more months.
Yeah. It's hard now though because I'm not working anymore, so I got no money.
Yeah, it sucks. This thing needs to end. A lot of people are losing money, especially with the unemployment going around. It's all backed up, but supposedly they're supposed to crank out 140,000 people this week.
I hope so, because hopefully I'm included, because I'm still waiting.
Yeah, and supposedly, I don't know if they had passed or not, but supposedly they're doing a round 2 of a stimulus check.
I saw that. Unfortunately,
and supposedly they're doing a hazardous pay thing for essential workers. So hopefully that passed.
Yeah,
because I'm sick and tired of unemployment people getting paid more than me.
That's crazy. Honestly, I never really like looked at the numbers, and the other day I was like thinking about it, and I was like, unemployed people are getting paid way more than I would have been if I'm still working.
100%.
So I mean, you know, part of me, since I am unemployed currently, part of me is excited for that money to come my way.
Yeah.
But the other part of me is like I kind of feel guilty. Like I'm not out there. I don't want to say risking my life, but like risking my health.
Yeah.
Getting paid less than I would be sitting here, even though I haven't collected anything yet. But
like, my girlfriend, she makes less than I do, but she works sometimes more than me.
Oh yeah.
Well, regardless, my pay rate is higher and everything, but she makes less than me every 2 weeks. You know, which is not a big deal to me, realistically, because I don't care. But ever since this unemployment thing happened, I'm like, yo, you're getting paid either close to me or as more as I am. Yeah. And you're not doing nothing. You're home sleeping, you know. It kind of makes me upset a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I got to wake up at 6 in the morning, you know, put on my sweats, put my hoodie on, and throw my shoes on, and then just, you know, go out there. And there's people that I speak to, they still don't wear their masks, you know. They don't keep their social distancing. I've had people try to shake my hand, and it feels like nowadays with this whole thing, it's like disrespectful to have someone come up to you and try to shake your hand.
Yeah. Like, it's so weird. Just times are different, man.
It sucks, man. It just needs to end. But supposedly our governor is trying to open up beaches May 22nd.
Okay.
I don't know how that's going to work out. For the car community, it's great. Don't get me wrong. You know, for the car community, it's great because, you know, we could attempt to host some meets, you know.
But I'm itching for some meets.
Oh, me too. For the rest of us, though, for like the everyday Joe, it's like, should we really be having those open just yet?
No, I know. So my birthday was actually just on Monday, and my girlfriend arranged like an awesome drive-by like parade thing.
Yeah, I saw that on your story on
Oh, did
Instagram.
you? Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, I saw that.
And so the day before, like the night before, so on Sunday, Murphy actually said that there can't be any of those like parade things 10 like more than 10 cars.
Yeah, which
And
makes no sense. That like you're in your
it
cars.
doesn't. Yeah, exactly. But like mine was already planned. There were probably like almost 20 cars, I want to say.
Oh
But
man.
then I don't know. I saw it was just a headline. I didn't actually read the article. But on my birthday, I got a notification that it said that they were actually banned altogether, the drive-bys. So I don't know if that's true or not. That's what the headline was. I didn't, I saw it and just kind of ignored it, went on with my day. But to my knowledge, I think that they are actually banned now, which is kind of
It's
stupid.
crazy because I don't think I've seen any drive-by like events since then. When it first happened, I was like in my house. I'm like, why is everybody honking? Like I'm trying to
Yeah.
sleep. Why is everyone honking? I got so upset. I was like, you know what? Forget it. I'm gonna go get some breakfast. So I hop out my house and everything, and down the street they're having like everyone, like just people outside for a birthday holding posters and honking. I'm like, what? Like, what's going on? Like,
That
go
was my
home.
reaction too.
I was so angry. I was like, you know what? They're not social distancing. Come arrest all of them. But I was like, whatever.
Well, I was really confused the first time. I was like why are all these cars driving past and honking? Well,
Yep.
first I heard all the honking, and I was like, yo, there's something going on. So I went
Yeah, I thought
outside.
there was an accident or something
Yeah,
happened. I'm like, whoa.
and then I quickly realized what was going on because a lot of the people had like signs taped to their cars.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I was like, oh, that's pretty smart. Um, but then I actually saw a video on YouTube. I think it was some guys in Texas.
Yeah.
They arranged to drive by like that with all their like race cars. They were all like track cars, so they were loud. It was like
Yeah.
Mustangs, Corvettes,
That's how it should
Camaros.
be, though. That's how it should be.
Yeah, yeah. And it was for this 10-year-old kid. He was turning. I guess he was turning 10, and his parents knew some guys in the group, and they called and were like, "Hey, you guys should come ride by the house." And the family alerted like their neighbors, and then the guys come drive through, revving their cars. That's it. And then they go for another loop around to actually go and talk to the family.
Yeah.
And there are two ladies from the neighborhood, like, so mad about it. And they're like, oh, you can't be doing this. This is disrupting, like, the neighborhood, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Which, like, okay, yeah, like,
Yeah,
they're
like it
loud
makes sense,
cars,
but like,
but, like,
leave me alone.
yeah, they're social distancing. Which,
Yeah.
one thing in the video I noticed that no one had masks on, and the 6 feet apart thing, like, they weren't really following that. So
Yeah.
maybe out there it's not as bad. They don't have to worry as much. But yeah. So then the lady's like, "Oh, my husband's a cop. Like, I have him like calling his police buddies to come over here and arrest all you guys." And they're like, "All right, well, like, why don't you just let us leave?" And she's like, she went on and was like later she was like, oh, it's not about stopping you guys, it's about the principle of it. But like meanwhile she's like stopping them from leaving. And then eventually what happens, they leave, the cops come to the neighborhood and actually arrest the ladies and their husband for, I think, for blocking traffic and because they were trying to fight the cops. Like they were getting like mad at them and getting like
No.
aggressive. Yeah. So it's funny because they were the ones who called the cops and then they ended
Yeah,
up getting
man,
arrested.
it's so stupid.
So
Like, why
stupid.
call the cops and then freak out on the cops? Like, you just needed them.
Yeah.
I don't
But
know. I heard it's worse out in Texas though.
is it? I don't know. Maybe
I
it
think
might not
I
have been
think the
Texas.
numbers are going up. Well,
Okay.
last time I heard, at least.
I mean, numbers are kind of going up everywhere for the most part still.
Yeah.
But
Surprisingly, Jersey, supposedly at least, I don't know how much of it's true, that as a state, we're doing pretty good. Like more people are getting off ventilators, more and more people are getting out of hospitals. I've been noticing our death rates have been going down, but how true it is, I don't know. Because you hear all the time that they're like inflating all the death rates and everything and like that, and it's just
well,
it's true. It sucks.
there's one app that I had. well, so the weather app actually shows the Weather Channel app. They have their own like tab now for COVID-19.
Really?
And yeah, and it's pretty cool. But at first, it showed the number of cases. You could look at it by state or by country, or by county actually too.
Yeah.
So at first, it used to show the number of cases, the number of recoveries, and the number of deaths. And then all of a sudden, one day, it was only cases and deaths. And then recoveries like came back up for like a week, and then like they took it away. So I don't know if they're purposely like not showing the number of like recoveries, or if that's just like a glitch or something. But it seems to me like a lot of places don't advertise like the number of recoveries, because it's actually like a lot more than most people realize.
Yeah, how I used to speak to people about it when it came to recoveries is like how we think, not even as like anyone that lives in New Jersey, just like a human race. If we see progress, we automatically want to jump in it, and then it messes everything up because we get too excited. We just like we're so eager to want to go back to normal. So if we see the progress, somebody's gonna mess it up.
No, that's understandable. That's a very good point.
Yeah, it's just like it's just how we are. Like we really can't blame us, but it's just how we are. We're just so eager, and we want results right away, but we really can't handle them because we start questioning things, as we are right now anyway.
Yeah.
We start, pointing fingers, as again, we were doing it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So now if we see recoveries constantly every day, we're all going to stop social distancing. We're all going to stop wearing our masks. We're going to stop doing what we're doing now to prevent it.
Yeah.
And it's just how I see it,
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely true. I actually never thought of it that way. To me, it was more like I want to see the information, but I never had thought of it like the psychological aspect of it. That's a very good point. Yeah. But we are approaching an hour, so I want to start wrapping up. But before we do that, I have some questions.
Oh man! As soon as you said an hour, it starts cutting out again.
Oh, did it? I said before we wrap up.
I can't hear you yet.
Oh no.
Yeah, it happened again as soon as like you said it.
Okay.
I stopped hearing you.
You're good. Good now.
Yeah.
Cool.
I can hear you now.
Okay. Before we wrap up, I have a couple questions, just two, from Instagram. One of them. All right. I think this is a silly question, but how do you do donuts on the highway without getting into an accident? Highway shutdown.
Right now is the perfect time.
Yes,
right now is the perfect time. So just drop the clutch and have fun. Spin that wheel.
There you go. And then the next one is actually, how did you fall in love with cars and photography? So, I guess the photography part would be for me, unless you're a secret photographer and haven't talked about that yet.
I'm not.
Okay. So for me, I actually, this goes like way back. So when I was in like elementary school, I was always into like drawing, not doodling, but like drawing. Like, so I would read comic books and then draw what I saw from the comic books. And one day I was like, oh, I could like make a website for this and whatever. So I made a website and I uploaded videos, drawing tutorials. So like how to draw Batman or how to draw the Flash or something like that. And at first it was just like one straight clip of me drawing, and then like I figured out how to edit a little bit, and the editing thing was really cool to me. So I kind of like made projects for myself just so I could play with the editing. And then I got a camera, and then from there I started taking pictures. And it wasn't until I was, I guess, a sophomore in high school, my friend who was a year older than me, he got his first car, and he was like, hey, why don't you take pictures of it? And he had a Mark 6 GTI. So I was like, all right, yeah, sure. I've never taken car pictures before, but this might be fun.
Oh, I think you just cut out again.
Oh, man. Can you hear me yet?
I can't hear you yet.
Still can't hear me yet? It seems to be like for like a set amount of time that I cut out for.
I still cannot
can't
hear
me?
you.
All right, maybe my theory is wrong. Testing.
I can't hear you.
Oh no! I'll sign language to you.
What happened?
I said I'll sign language to you.
All right, I can hear you now. All right, we're good. We're back.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I was saying, my friend asked me to take pictures of his GTI, and I was like, "Oh, this car thing's really cool." And I was always interested in cars. I watched Fast and Furious, so like, I knew the car culture. That like it was dope to me. And then kind of from there, he was like, "Well, I have all these other car friends. Like, why don't you come take pictures for them too?" And I was like, "Sure." And sure enough, I found myself here today, talking about cars and all that good stuff.
And you just cut out again.
All right, can you hear me yet or no?
All right, now I can hear you. We got this.
Great. Basically, long story short.
And now you're gone.
Nah.
I don't know what's happening. I'm so confused. You're fine.
Someone says your Wi-Fi sucks.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Long story short, I was into photography. My friend asked me to take pictures of his car. I took pictures of more cars, and I'm here now. Basically.
That's how it all starts.
Yeah, pretty much. But what about you? What got you into cars?
All right, so it was random. So when I was younger, as a kid, you always have that toy car. So mine was I can't remember what color was it, but it was a C5 Corvette.
Mm.
And then, at the time I used to love seeing cars, but it was like I never had the urge to like think, oh, what makes them tick?
Yeah.
So eventually, as I got older, I started falling in love with more and more Mustangs. Yes, I know they're crowd killers, but it happens. So it was the S197 chassis or S550 chassis, the previous generation.
Okay.
So it was that generation that really grabbed me. Because at the time, yeah, V8 is king now, but at the time, I just said it and had no argument behind it.
Yeah.
So whatever. Then I slowly started getting into Hondas, watching videos. I used to spend, honestly, hours and hours at a time watching car reviews on probably almost every car, learning about every car and stuff like that. And then I got into Hondas. My first car was ironically a 95 EG. It was 5-speed.
Oh, nice.
Big POS.
I feel that. My 95 Integra was my first car. That was also a big POS.
Yeah, man. It sucked at the time because I was so happy to get it as my first car.
Yeah, you love it anyway.
Yeah, no, 100%. And then I started slowly picking at it. I started scratching the surface because at that time is when I was in high school and I took auto class just to it was like, you know what? I love cars. Let's grow my knowledge on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then did 2 years of that in high school. Then I actually sold the Honda I had and bought the Genesis.
Okay.
So I bought that when I was 17, 18 and had it since. And then I went to school up in Bloomfield at Universal Technical Institute.
Okay, cool. UTI.
Did that. That's where I learned almost everything I know now, pulling the motor apart, pulling the head apart, doing all that now. The basics of learning a car, brakes and everything. My buddy, the same buddy that taught me how to tow, he taught me how to do brakes and all that.
Yeah.
The Mustang that I fell in love with, my buddy has an 800 horsepower one down in Texas.
Wow.
I had that thing's a beast. I had to help him with that trans. So.
Okay. Because I have a buddy who has a Mustang he just moved down to Texas not that long ago. but his makes only 650, I think. He's watching right now. He was commenting earlier, so I know he'll tell me if I'm wrong, but I want to say it was like 650. But I was wondering for a second if it might have been the same person, but no, because his doesn't make 800.
No, I don't know if you know Evan Shanks on YouTube.
Shanks. That sounds very familiar.
He has a bunch of crazy builds going on right now. Look him up. He's actually down in Texas. Has Supras, JZXs, everything.
Okay.
So ironically, my buddy's tuner down in Texas is his tuner as well. So I knew once he told me that, I was like, yeah, yo, man, your tune's reliable. He's pushing 800 just with a Pro Charger and some E85, and that's it.
There you go.
All you gotta do, man.
That's dope. But did you have anything else to say about what got you into cars? You had the
That's it, honestly. That's basically all it is to it, honestly.
Cool. You forgot to mention in high school that you met just V and you became friends and now you're dating.
Yeah, that kind of happened too. That was somewhere lost in the memories a little bit in the whole car aspect, but I guess that happened too in between.
Well, it's cool that you have a car girlfriend. Definitely makes the car life easier having someone to support you about it.
She kind of supports me a little too much.
A little too much? That's
I need her to tell me no once in a while.
All right. Well, oh wait, I was about to end the show, but AJ Soto said, "Yo, Cassim."
What's up, AJ? Yo, stay in school, you heard?
Dark Royalty shout out. Oh, does he run Dark Royalty?
Yeah, that's something me and Jazz V started up not too long ago.
Oh, that's you guys.
Yeah, that's us. We started that up about a month or so ago, slowly growing.
Wow.
We have a few guys in our group, great guys that we have. Everyone treats each other like family. We do crack on each other, but
yeah,
great group of guys and females. And yeah, we're coming out with banners soon, some merchandise here and there. So if anybody wants to cop some merch, keep a lookout on that. Follow us at darkroyalty.tm.
Yes.
And yeah, so that's basically what we do. We're gonna be hosting a meet with NJ Gens very, very soon, but we're gonna do a test run with just our two groups.
Okay.
So we're gonna see how that plays out, if we get bothered or anything like that, and then if everything plays out well, if everyone respects the guidelines, hopefully we can have a successful semi-big meet.
Yeah, sweet. That'd be awesome. And I know you guys have DZ already, but if you need any more cameras, I'm always here to hit me up if you want.
I'm always eager to work with anybody, honestly. I'm
Cool.
eager to work with anybody.
Awesome. Well, before we say goodbye, is there anything else that you want to plug? I know you just plugged Dark Royalty, but anything else?
If you guys, want to follow me at, on Instagram, The Real BK, that's 2 E's and the.
2 E's, yes. I kept making that mistake.
2 E's. So I got some cool car content on there. Soon I'll be posting the Civic when that's more in depth at least. But
Cool.
And follow Ethanol feed too if you guys want to. Got to plug in the boy.
There you go. All right, man. Thanks for coming on.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.